Dafi Altbeb, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
And welcome to CultureBuzz. Actually, Dafi, we are happy to be your guests tonight because you were kind enough to invite us for a rehearsal just before you take off to France. Sounds exciting.
Really
Dafi,
exciting.
please share with us whatever you'd like to.
So first, I'm very glad that, to invite you to a rehearsal and not just for a show. I think that there is something very intimate in inviting you into our lab.
And hopefully our clip that we'll take soon will reflect this.
Totally. Like you see the dancer as they are, without the makeup, without the costumes, without the lighting, just as they are, and they are good enough to be amazing just themselves. So yes, we are invited to perform in Pavilion Noir in south of France.
Provence?
Provence.
Yeah, we can smell the food already.
I can smell the...
Mazal tov.
תודה רבה. So there is an Israeli evening there for 3 different Israeli choreographer women.
And we were told that all of them are young and bright.
Yeah, and we are going to create together an evening with 3 different pieces, and we're going to perform there on the 28th of February and then on the 1st of March.
Hey, so we should publish this immediately. So
Immediately, very fast.
yeah, people will go there and see what it's all about.
Great.
Bon chance, as we say.
What is it, bon chance?
Good luck.
And actually, it was invited. The French people discovered to be very planned in advance because they have already ordered it a year ago, in a year advance.
Following the exposure?
In the international exposure.
Wonderful thing.
Yeah, and it was interesting because I've met the manager of the festival. Her name is Nicole Said, and we were sitting together, and she was telling me, look, the festival of this year is already closed, and I just gave her the brochure of us, and after a month she invited us. And
so they plan ahead.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's totally different than other countries that we visit, that everything was like in the last minute, but it's very nice and give us a very good feeling like to go so organized there.
Wonderful. It will not be your first foreign performance. You told me about Naples before, Napoli?
Yeah, our big tour was last year. Like I got a very, very nice opportunity as the manager of a big festival in Naples. His name is Luca De Fusco. He was sitting in the same show that Nicole Said was sitting, and immediately after the show, not like them in France, he was really excited because the aria that I'm using there is part of Romeo and Juliet. And he said, I want a full-length piece of 6 dancers just on Italian operas to be premiered in my festival. And I was like, okay, probably it's like that you meet someone in the street and you say, how are you? And you don't really wait for the answer. So I thought it's something that you say on the way, but it's not a promise that will be paid. But he was very serious, and by the assistance of Farahi, he was talking with us a day after, saying that he's really serious. And for half a year we started to plan where it's going to be, and we were lucky to have a pre-tour visit in the place that actually it was an archaeological site. But it was very important that we saw it because it is a huge place, not something that you have here except Caesarea. And we've been there before the process with the dancers start, so we could plan what we want to do according to the big and amazing space that you just have the sea as a backstage. You don't have nothing, it's open, you don't have nothing above you. And I created this piece with my partner for life, who is coming from movie directing and photography.
And he is?
Nini Moshe.
Nini Moshe.
And as the piece is so huge, and since 2009 he's really part of my pieces, but just like he's coming in the middle of the process and then in the end of the process, and he put his cinematography vision into the piece. So for this piece we decided to start it together, as we felt that it's supposed to be really theater, how do you say?
Theatric. Yeah.
You understood me?
Yeah, I think everybody does.
And we really wanted to make a connection with the audience in this piece and to cut the fourth wall, because there isn't fourth wall. There is no stage and audience. There is just one big place. And yeah, we premiered it in last June.
How was it received?
It was like for the old conservative Italian people, it was a bit strange.
Difficult to swallow?
A bit, because it's not a piece of like dancing 55 minutes. It's a lot of text inside and a lot of humor and a lot about touching, emotions, and as sex is part of emotion and touching, it puts sex on the table. And to come to a Catholic country and to put it on the table, sometimes it was
can be a bit too much. But for the young generation?
For people that are not coming from theater or something like that, are not traditional, it was written as if it was invented like a opportunistic. They called it like that. It's something that they haven't seen before. That
innovative, pioneering.
Something that
new, totally new,
totally not recognizable from things that I've seen before.
Sounds very Israeli.
Very Israeli.
Yeah.
And Luca himself, we had a very interesting conversation afterwards. Like he gave me a mission, but he was not part of it. So it was like a free hand, do whatever you want. And now, are you satisfied of what you've got?
He's a democratic director of festival.
And it was very interesting, like to hear from him, like how he feels that I put all these issues that I'm talking about so freely on the table without any embarrass. And this is something that didn't cross my mind when I was creating it.
And the name of the piece again?
Sensitivity to Heat.
Wow, what a name. Now, this was shown only in Italy or in other places too?
The tour was like for 2 days of premiere in Naples, and then we crossed to Ravello, which is an amazing place.
Sounds beautiful.
Wow. It's like heaven.
So it was an Italian tour, basically.
Yeah, and it was a part of a music festival that is happening once in a year there, and we were part of this.
Wonderful.
But this was not outside location; it was inside of a theater. And since then, we worked on how to take it from this outstanding place and to put it on stage, and we premiered it in Israel on January.
It was premiered?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Mazal tov.
Toda.
Okay, and now the piece you are taking with you to France.
It's High Expectations. It's a duet that was created of part of a festival called Intima Dance. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's in Tmuna.
Rings a bell, yes.
Happens once in a year, and it's like the fringe of the festival.
Wonderful.
Followed by Nava Zuckerman, that is part of the process. I was lucky to work with her, and it's a duet that talks about expectations from myself, like how in the job that I decided to take to myself, like being choreographer, I feel it less now when we're talking, but I felt for many years that every time when I put myself peak, I reach it, and then I want something higher, and it's never enough. It's like I need to compete with my own achievements, and it's not that I achieved something and I'm satisfied and I can relax. No, there is something bigger and extremer, and it's like I need to exhaust myself in order to feel that I made it.
So the name is perfect.
Yeah.
High Expectations.
It's always like the name is the last to be chosen to be perfect to the piece.
Maybe a few words about your dancers?
Roni Brensteter and Olivia Mesa. Olivia was part of the process from the beginning. I can say gladly that her language of dancing is 99% of this piece, because when I met her 2 years ago, she brought something so fresh and not Israeli to my repertoire. And as I'm working with dancer with a lot of improvisation, in the last 3 years I decided to go into the studio and research people, not to find new movement just for myself and copy different Dafis on the stage, but to find a person that interests me not just in his body, but in his intelligence, his emotional way of expressing himself. And that's why the pieces are so different than one from each other, because every time when I meet different people, I try to take from them what they are bringing and cook the cake of my own, which is the choreography of the piece.
So it's a cooperative effort.
Totally. Like I always write for my dancer that they are co-creative dancers. They're
Wonderful.
Not just dancers.
It's a joint effort.
Yeah, totally.
Wonderful. Dafi, why dance?
Why dance? I wanted to be a vet. My love to animals are much higher than people. But I discovered that if I love animals so much, this is not the right profession for me. And I was playing in an orchestra for 12 years, from the age of 6 till 18. So I had an urge to deal with music.
A very special instrument too.
Harmonica.
Harmonica.
And then I was in the Scouts also, and there was once in a year in Shavuot, a festival, a very big festival, that the adults were creating dance pieces or songs for the youngs, and we were competing with the other groups. And I had a crave for it, and I was doing it every year, winning the first prize, doing just the choreographies. And the love for dance was always there, but I didn't try to make it as a profession. But I started to work to study in the seminar, and I discovered that this is what I'm looking for. Afterwards, I can say that when I finished there, I was still searching what to study more, because I had I was falling in love with everything concerning to anatomy and physiologic, and but I felt that this is not the right thing, and I was searching myself, studying and teaching everywhere, until I said, okay, go back to the seminar, do another thing that you can, like a progress education for advanced composition. And then I found myself.
So music lost and dance gained.
But not lost. First, I'm still playing at home, and I feel that if I can say that something is very specific in my pieces, as I'm not teaching my dancer the movements, I think that the musicality in the pieces and the way to divide the movements with the music is something that I got from being in this orchestra. Okay. And a lot of how to behave and how to, like a very strict method.
Wonderful.
I got it really from there.
So everything falls into its place.
Yeah, and somewhere or in a couple of years I will probably do a dance piece with the harmonica, me playing on stage.
Wonderful. Dafi, what can we wish you for the future?
To be able to continue with it and to make it the major thing that I'm doing in my life, and to have as much as we can tours around the world that that a lot of people, a lot of audience will be exposed to what we're doing, and that's it.
Wonderful. So we wish you that and much more than that. And bon voyage.
Thank you very much. Merci.
תודה רבה, שלום.